What's up, guys? Today you're in for a treat. So, I haven't posted a YouTube video in about 2 years. I normally post music content. This will be my first chess YouTube video. So, I hope you guys find it interesting and helpful. And this was a pretty tough tournament. I haven't played chess competitively for about 7 years. And recently just moved to Minneapolis, and this is my first chess tournament in Minnesota. So I'm rated about 1550, and I was playing in the under 2200 section. So pretty much everyone in the tournament was a lot higher than me, and I wanted to try my best, and we'll see where competitive chess takes me. Of course, it'd be awesome to be like a grandmaster and playing at top level, but one tournament at a time. This tournament definitely had its ups and downs, but I'll take you through all 5 games of the tournament, and we will start with game number 1. So I was facing Andres Hortiosa. He was a really chill older gentleman, and he started off with d4. So d4 is definitely one of my weaker openings. I'm a lot better playing against e4, and I like to play like Sicilians or Scandinavians. d4, I usually play knight f6 or d5. I'm very comfortable going into a Slav, and I'm okay with exposing all my openings and prep, and we'll see what happens in the tournament. So they could prepare, opponents can prepare against me. I don't care. I'll try my best. So going forward, I played d5 and London. So London's definitely an opening that I need to prepare more on, and I could tell he knew a lot more in the London that I did. I could just go knight f6, but in the tournament I wanted to be a bit more aggressive, playing c5 and capturing on d4 and just adding more pressure to the center. So just for some beginners, the whole point is to get the bishop outside the pawn chain, play e3, and then like get a setup. Like you got kind of this like diamond shaped setup, and it's pretty solid. It's very solid for white. So I immediately played c5, just questioning what he's going to do in the center. And he protected his pawn, and I took. So we had a capture, and here's probably where I probably made my first inaccuracy. I could have just played knight to f6, targeting, just adding more pressure to the center. Also, in all these variations, and as soon as you move the bishop out, you're no longer guarding this weak b2 square. So I wanted to immediately add pressure to this square with queen b6, and then maybe induce a b3 pawn move, so really weakening the queen side, which isn't the best idea looking back at it. And if I'm going to play something like this with this queen out to b6, threatening this, I'll show you. So the idea is to take this pawn, but if the knight jumps out, the rook comes here and adds more pressure down in this b file. So I didn't really want that to happen, and I talked to him after the game, and he's like, if you play queen b6, you have to go into this line. And I don't think I want to go into this line. I mean, I'll show you guys what happens when I didn't capture on b2 because I got scared. So going forward, knight develops, and it's just really scary to take here and then have more pressure, and then this pawn's hanging, and I still haven't developed anything. So like he'd pretty much have like 3 pieces developed, and I have my queen just running around the board, getting tempo. And for me, probably I don't want to play that position. I think I could play something a lot more solid. So instead of queen out, I could have just played knight f6 on the previous turn and my queen would be back on the d8. So he developed, and here's where I made, I think, another inaccuracy. Much better than my move, which was bishop to g4, which I'm looking at the eval bar and it instantly goes down, just because the knight could just jump, the bishop could protect here, and the knight could just jump in to this e5 outpost whenever he wants. And I definitely could have played something else besides like a6. a6 is a move I wish I got in a lot earlier, or even just bishop to d7 is very solid, because just this knight jumping into here to here could get pretty annoying. So looking back, I think I would much rather would have played a6 and prevent any complications on this square right here. Alright, so the knight jumps in here, it's protected by this bishop, so I can't really do anything. I can't take it, and I need to defend this square. I could play check, but it's only temporary, and he could defend, go back. So I had to protect this c7 square because the fork on with the king and the rook is pretty dangerous. So I played knight to a6, protecting this square. And here I'm okay. I'm definitely very unfamiliar with the position. I would like to castle kingside, but he makes it really uncomfortable and plays pretty accurate, strong next moves, and really took advantage of e6. After I played e6, I could no longer bring this bishop back. So the pawn's really blocking my bishop, and I could have played a move like Fianchetto playing g6 with the bishop and going this way. So I played e6, and then he played a scary move that I don't really like this position. I castled here. Computer saying I could take this and just let myself get it. Discovery checks all over the place. I thought it was scarier than the evaluation shows, so I castled, which is definitely not the best move. The thing about that e6 move is I can no longer bring this bishop back. So anytime he moves the knight, I'll be having, so I say he brings the knight back, I'll have this attack on the queen. So that was one, this move really, e6 really prevented me from doing anything with this bishop. And as you'll know, the bishop really didn't have any purpose the rest of the game. The pin's no longer, there's no longer a pin, and then the knight's just ready to jump in, attack the bishop, and this bishop's pretty much out of the game. The knight's pretty much out of the game. Like, this knight's literally just controlling this square. It's doing nothing on the rim of the board. I still haven't castled, so I really don't like this line. And you'll really see the difference playing, I'm 400 points lower than this guy. Playing an opening that I definitely am unfamiliar with. So I castled, and he gained tempo, kicking the bishop. I went back to this square. He developed another piece. His king is completely safe. My king is completely cut off. He has all these, I can't move this because there's an attack here. This bishop's really like controlling all these squares in front of my king, and it's just crisscross applesauce. Does not look fun for my king. And I tried to do something. I didn't have very many moves to go for. I guess I could have played knight to d7. I played knight here. Computer says to play knight back here, but it's still, right now it's giving a white a +4 almost evaluation. So my position's already pretty terrible. It all stems to just like the e6, the a6 I didn't play. I castled queenside. So I played knight up, he kicked it, and then I went back. I wanted to get rid of this annoying knight and trade it off. I was thinking if I trade off pieces, maybe he could get to an end game where get the queens off the board, something. But he played very accurately. I tried to remove the knight, but then he hit the queen with tempo. At this point, I saw how screwed I was. This rook's coming. Pretty much all his pieces are lined up in front of my king, and it does not look good. So I took there. He hit my queen with tempo. I tried to sack in exchange and like cut the king off on this diagonal. Looking back, I could have also brought this bishop like after it takes here to like defend this, because this diagonal gets very messy very fast. So here, now I played a6, which is definitely an inaccuracy. Should have played bishop to d6, because he threatens this move with, it's very dangerous. So best move right here is bishop to d6, but I'm kind of already tossing in the towel, and there's not much I could do. This guy's 1900. He's not going to make a huge mistake, and especially my king's very easy to attack right now. So that's definitely not the best move. This is horrible, but the tournament kind of gets better from here. Well, I have some better games to show after this game, but this was completely brutal beating by this guy, and for some of the beginners, I want you guys to pause it and find a tactic that's pretty, I call it a boom move. Basically, when you have a really good tactic that does something amazing, like checkmate or win a queen. The move is right here, knight to c4, and I obviously saw it. And I was just sitting at the board. I could see all the moves coming, and I really couldn't do anything. Like if I took this, or even if I took this with the rook, the queen's coming, and the bishop's controlling this whole file, so that's not a good idea. And then I pretty much am going into a discovered check with this bishop lining up. So basically anywhere this knight moves, it's check, because this bishop is checking the king. So you could go here, you could go here, you could go here, anywhere the knight moves, but the best move is knight to c4. Why? Because you check and you're attacking the queen at the same time. So I had to come back to try to save, to not totally go down the exchange. I'm picking up a bishop in return for a queen, so it's pretty bad. He protected the bishop. Then at this point, I'm like, it's over. I tried to like play a couple more moves, slide the bishop back. He had check and forking this and this. So I just took the bishop. This is both of those pieces are attacked. I have to move the king. He gained tempo, took the bishop. I just played a few more moves. I knew it was over at this point. And he played one more check, attacking the bishop and the king, and I resigned. So he went up 1-0, and I started off the tournament 0-1. So definitely have a lot to learn from that game. I really have to study the London a little bit more, but yeah, I think I'm used to playing fast chess. I play a lot of bullet and blitz online, and it's been about 7 years since I played classical chess, which feels so slow to me, but it's how you get better. I felt like I was playing like you sit at these boards for like 4 hours playing these games. So definitely took getting used to, but stay tuned for the next game. It does get better, and I redeem myself after this poor outcome.